All right, we're doing Rust snippets. Rust snippets is just like very basic introduction or like beginner level Rust stuff that explains some fairly simple concepts in a fairly short period of time. So let's talk mutability. Now, mutability in Rust can get complicated. It doesn't necessarily need to be in the very beginning. So we're going to talk about mutability from a very beginner's, very surface level standpoint. So we've got three different variables: let x equals 7, let y equals 8, let z equals x plus y. We run this, it gives us exactly what we would expect. The result is 15. Okay, so all of these variables right here are declared as immutable by default. Immutable means they cannot be changed. So I've got let z equals x plus y. Let's just say I want to double that. So z is equal to z times 2. Okay, so we would expect the result to be 30. Let's try to run this, and we can't do it. Cannot assign twice to an immutable variable. So z is considered immutable by default. In order to change that, we change this to let mut z equal to x plus y. Now, clear this out, run it, we get the result is 30. What immutable versus mutable means is just that an immutable variable is unchangeable later on in the code. You declare it one time and it cannot change later on. Mutable means that you can change it later on in the code. So right here we declare z equal to x plus y in the beginning, and then we say, oh, nope, never mind, later on we want to double it. So this is just telling the Rust compiler, hey, I'm going to declare this thing as something, or maybe I won't declare anything at all, but later on we want to change it, okay? So it's not all that complicated. Later on when you start talking about ownership, and when you start talking about references, and when you start talking about mutable references versus immutable references, things get a lot more complicated. But the very basics of mutability is just that. Now, why? Basically, security. If we want to declare something as being immutable, we are telling that program this should never change. If something changes it, then something has gone drastically wrong and you need to panic. You need to basically throw up a red flag and say, that's not good, that's not supposed to change. We have to explicitly state this variable right here might change later. We may never actually change it. It may never change. There may be some kind of weird edge case that will never be reached where it does change, but we are telling the compiler, if we are putting that mute keyword right here, we are putting that mute keyword, we are telling the compiler, we are telling Rust, hey, this might change later on down the line. If we get rid of that, this variable can never change. It will stay exactly the same throughout the entire running of the code. Now, immutable variables are different from constants. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in my Rust book walkthrough. I probably have already uploaded this by now. I'm recording all of this ahead of time. But if you see a Rust book walkthrough, I explain the difference between immutable variables and constants in that video. So check that out. All right, if you enjoy Rust snippets, leave me a like, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. Peace.